vettix.org to become a member now. Vettix. Give something to those who gave.
right, Georgie. Pick what you want.
Thank you.
I'm a nice guy. Today is Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. I call this village board meeting in order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bush? Here. Trustee Frankie?
Here.
Trustee Jerish?
Here.
Trustee Miller?
Here.
Trustee Prochnow?
Here.
Trustee Schmidt?
Here. All board members are present tonight. Tonight, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, but first we're going to do the invocation from Pastor Stefan Petusnik at Christus Victor Lutheran Church. Will everyone please rise? Pastor, please.
Thank you. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. We are in the season of light and prepare for God's coming into our world. We are grateful for this light that God provides and that led us through this past year. We are grateful for the services of the police officers and firefighters who kept us safe, through the Elk Grove Care Program that provided help for all people from Elk Grove and beyond, and who were seeking help, through PADS and our local food pantries that help people with basic needs such as shelter and food. We pray for the good work that Butch Erkey did as chairman of the Fire and Police Commission and wish him well in his retirement. We pray for the reappointing new chairman, Steve Scholten, who will be sworn in today, that his time on the board will be a blessing to all. We also lift up in prayer the work of the new Fire and Police Commissioner, Russell Gotha, Jr., as he will be sworn in today as well. Bless Steve and Russell in their important positions and give them wisdom and strength in their administrative roles. Let us now listen to a meaningful Advent poem written by South African pastor Alan Bozak. It is not true that creation and human family are doomed to destruction and loss. This is true. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. It's not true that we must accept inhumanity and discrimination, hunger and poverty, death and destruction. This is true. I have come that they may have life, and that abundantly. It's not true that violence and hatred should have the last word, and that war and destruction rule forever. This is true. Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, the Everlasting, the Prince of Peace. It's not true that we are simply victims of the power of evil who seek to rule the world. This is true. To me is given authority in heaven and on earth, and lo, I am with you, even until the end of the world. It's not true that our hopes and liberation of humankind or justice, of human dignity, of peace are not met for this earth and for this history. This is true. The hour comes, and it is now, that the true worshipers shall worship God in spirit and truth. So let us now encounter Advent in hope, even hope against hope. Let us see visions of love and peace and justice. Let us affirm with humility, with joy, with faith, with courage that God is the light and life of the world. Amen. And Merry Christmas to you all.
Amen. Thank you. The flag's to my right. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Pastor, thank you.
Welcome. Good meeting.
And as always, get enough sugar at Christmas anyways, a little more won't hurt.
Thank you, thank you. Have a good meeting. God bless you.
Thank you. We move on now to the approval of the minutes. We have two sets to approve, so we'll start off with first, November 14th, 2023.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 14th, 2023 as presented and dispense with the reading.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Prochnow, a second by trustee Bush. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, let the record show unanimous approval. We have now minutes from our special meeting on November 20th, 2023.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 20th, 2023, as presented, and dispense with the reading.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Prochnow, a second by trustee Bush. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, let the record show unanimous approval. Move on now to Mayor and Board of Trustees report. We've got some presentations, swearing-ins, and others due, so I ask you please be patient. We'll get to those in a couple minutes. Been mayor 27 years. I don't think I've ever seen a busier 4-week period in my life. A lot has gone on. I appreciate your indulgence for a few minutes to go through some things that have occurred, that are occurring, and so on. So I appreciate that and again in advance. First off, on November 21st, we were able to welcome, I know Trustee Schmidt and Trustee Prochnow, the Sister City students.
Yes.
Came from
Great time.
Termini and Mersey to visit the village hall,
Yes,
see
thank
local
you.
government, police station, fire station, all that, and went well. And the kids were great. They had a lot of fun, I know, enjoyed
Sure
that
did.
time. Also, on November 24th, we had our tree lighting ceremony out there. The weather was chilly, but what a crowd, a bigger crowd, and probably the biggest we've had. And went well, and it was exciting to kick off the holiday season with the tree lighting. And then on November 28th, we did the farewell lunch with the Sister
sure
City students, exchange students, before they left from that. Also, on November 30th, we had our SOC meeting, Suburban Air Commission meeting. I'll be talking about the FAA lawsuit, which we announced some action on when we were off for the past 4 weeks from board meetings in a little bit. And then with that complete, I want to now talk a little bit about some items that have been going on. And again, I bear for your patience. A couple items you're going to see on the agenda tonight. First off, on the agenda, the Park District approached the village, went through the Plan Commission Board approval. They're making change at the park at Marshall Park. Marshall Park's the one that's on Chelmsford, used to be old Township Daycare Center. And they're redoing it over with a Fountain Square Park area, soccer's being updated, pickleball courts, new playground equipment, fitness area. One thing that I'm not sure if they decided after the fact or they forgot to include whatever, they now want to light the soccer field and the pickleball courts. Again, that's got to go through the Plan Commission, then go through the board. But again, anyone that's got questions, comments, ideas about it, that is something that's the Park District function, not a village board function. If you got concerns, reach out to them. I can assure you, with today's lights for sports areas, they can put covers on, they can drain the light onto the field, not onto the homes behind or the areas behind. But if you got any questions, reach out to Park District, talk to them. But again, it'll be the newest lights, the most efficient ways to prevent overspill into people's homes and property. And I know they've already showed me the lights will be off, I think, by 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So, but again, that's going to be coming up. It's on the agenda, put before them, and that'll be going then. Another thing we just completed is we spent almost 6 years updating our ordinances, and that'll be coming for approval. People say, wow, 6 years. Well, one, we had COVID during the time, but secondly, our ordinances still had terminology. I haven't heard the terms in 50 years. So we updated them, made some modifications, changed. They've gone through the Plan Commission, Zoning Board, through the board, been working on this at length. And again, tonight they're ready to be completed. It's our entire, I think our entire ordinance. Am I right? Zoning code. So it's all updated, all way it should be, and I commend staff and everyone for working on it. And we're glad that's now complete. Another thing the board has been talking about, and we're excited to discuss tonight with the community, as we've talked about before, this village has been doing well. Our business park's doing well, our community's doing well, and all that. And remember, we've given back $400 water bill rebates, we gave back gift cards back and stuff, and we like doing that. Who knows what may happen in the future. But one thing we are focused on, and we're now targeting, we have 2 ways we pay our debt. You know, debt when you build the buildings, additions, new facilities, all that. One is paid for on property taxes. One is paid through our electric tax. The one on our property tax debt, we're going to accelerate paying that off. We're going to knock off between 7 to 10 years on that debt. So our goal is by 2030, there will no longer be any property tax debt on our property tax bill. We're going to work to get that paid off. We're working to accelerate that. So again, we're looking to knock off anywhere from 7 to 10 years, taking some of the excess revenue coming in to do that, which we all think is a good idea. Everyone can't wait till they get a mortgage-free home. We're looking at a mortgage-free community. So we're excited to announce we're working on that, and that should be coming in the near future. Another thing on the agenda, Elk Grove's looking to buy 3 more parcels of property. As people may or may not remember, the Bank of Elk Grove, the Elk Grove Village Bank and Trust Building on Turner, we bought back in the summer, bought that. Tonight, we are entering into contracts to buy the old Berkshire Hathaway building, and there now is Munchie's Pizza and the Mixed Hair Salon and a liquor store. And we're looking to buy 2 of the smaller buildings across the street from that, 60 and 70 Turner. And so we're entering contracts to purchase those properties. I know everyone's going to say, what are you going to do? What's going to happen? Nothing right now. But when property comes available, and we think it could be beneficial for the community long term, we've been taking advantage of doing that. So no different than what we did up at Elk Grove, Arlington Heights Road in Higgins, no different than we did in the industrial park, a couple buildings on Higgins recently, and stuff. So we're doing that. So that's on the agenda tonight. We'll be approving that in a little bit. We talked for a quick second there about the SOC meeting, FAA. While we were gone, real quick refresher, back on October 9th, we had a press conference here announcing a lawsuit against the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. And the reason for the lawsuit was, right now, since 2015, Maggie, past 8 years, we've been working, ONCC, Chicago Department of Aviation, and communities around the airport have been working on what they call a Fly Quiet program. And again, the airport's expanded. We have new runways. Anyone who lives along Biesterfield knows they got flights they never had before, all that. During the day, there's nothing we can really do. But at nighttime, we can try to get a rotation plan where they use only certain runways on certain weeks and rotate them around to spread the noise around. We always say everyone gets the benefit of the airport, everyone needs to share in the burden of the airport. So that's been going on for a long time. To our dismay, the hope was that the ONCC, O'Hare Noise Compatibility Commission, would submit the 2 best alternatives for the nighttime rotation. Plan B is in boy, Plan H is in Harry. We know through the JDA, the aviation experts we've been using for years, that Plan H is the fairest distribution of flights around O'Hare. We know it. It's been modeled, it's been analyzed, been studied, it's actually almost been proven. We're hoping they would submit both. Plan B was promoted mostly by communities like Park Ridge and Elmhurst. They promoted that because they have far less flights with that over the community. We feel that's not fair. Everyone should get the same benefit, everyone gets the same burden, as we said before. So ONCC was submitting only Plan B. Well, NEPA law, which is the federal law that the airport and the FAA have to follow on this kind of program, requires that all reasonable plans must be submitted in a fair and open public process. They were not doing that. They were not following NEPA. They were going to let all fair alternatives be reviewed, and they weren't going to have an open public process. We filed suit on Monday, October 9th. Now, people wonder, well, what kind of case did we have? Was it strong? Was it good? 48 hours later, the Department of Justice, which handles federal lawsuits for the FAA, the Department of Justice contacted our attorney and said, can we come to a resolution on this? In other words, they said, we can't defend the FAA. We're right. We're right. I've been a mayor for 27 years. As you know, with the airport issues in the past, other issues, I have never, ever, ever seen a response in 48 hours on anything. More importantly, dealing with the federal government. They have the DOJ to reach out to us and said, basically, you win, Elk Grove, let's resolve it, was unbelievable. So for the past several weeks, put together the language, wording, all that, and they finally submitted to us the wording where, 1, they will follow NEPA, 2, They will let all reasonable alternatives be considered and studied. And 3, it'll be an open process. Everything we asked for, we got. Now we feel very comfortable. Because again, this fly quiet rotation is for nighttime relief. When they pass whatever they pass, we're going to live with that for the next 30 to 40 years. I'll be dead. Most of us will be dead, except the young people. Will be long gone before they ever look at doing a new rotation plan. This is our quality of life we're talking about. Nighttime. Get some reprieve. We're very excited. Now, we know which way they should go. They know which way they should go. We're going to watch it, watch the analysis, watch the public comment, watch it come back with. Our hope is they do the right thing. If not, we're not afraid to go back again. But we think they will. We're very excited about that. We're very happy about this. Again, politics have got to stay out of this. We're talking about people's quality of life. So that's what happened. That's why we dropped the lawsuit so quick. But we drop it without prejudice. Without prejudice, what the lawyer tells me that means is we can reinstitute the lawsuit like that if we need to. And if we need to, we will. But we're optimistic after the DOJ said to us we're solid, that we should be in good shape. Next, real good news. Arlington Heights Road and Higgins Development, I mentioned briefly before. We now have agreements, or actually the developer, Wingspan, now has agreements with all the tenants to stay and operate in the new locations. So, VV Nails, Vinnie's, 7 Mile Cycle, Tensuki, Jerish Bakery, Subway, the main, all going to be part of the new development. What does that mean? That means in January, we can adopt the RDA, the redevelopment agreement with Wingspan. They can start construction this spring. Done, hopefully, by fall of 25. Then they'll start the housing component construction after that. So the businesses you were hoping to keep there, stay there, they're all staying there. Also, we'll be hopefully announcing and showing in January the new bridge. I hope is in January we'll be able to show the new pedestrian bridge going over Arlington Heights Road by the new development. It's been submitted to plans to Forest Preserve. Discussion going on, so we're optimistic about that. Remember, one of the things we promised was another crossover for people safe to get to Bussey Woods Path. That's been put together, submitted to the Forest Preserve, and hopefully we'll be showing that to the public come next month, and keep our fingers crossed on that. Next, as we mentioned, we passed the minutes from the November 20th special board meeting. That was the new ordinance passed by the village to deal with migrants coming to our community. Again, real quickly, as people know, back in September of 22, some migrants were basically being bused from the city of Chicago to Elk Grove, the old La Quinta Hotel site that is no longer there, and they're coming to Elk Grove. Again, we were not given heads up. We were told, I think, about 2.5 hours before they were going to come, and we had a number of questions, about who's taken care of, how many, where, how long, all that. Finally kind of worked through that, but we always had a concern. The migrants that came to Elk Grove back then, except for one woman that was pregnant and one child, were all men between the ages of 18 and 20 or 35. And one of our concerns were you have young men like that in a little hotel room month after month, they're going to become squirrely. That's life and all that. We were hopeful that they could get jobs. Matter of fact, we had companies lined up. They're going to put tables up in the hotel lobby and give them jobs. Many of these companies had people who spoke Spanish, so we can overcome the language barrier and do all that. That was not allowed by the federal government. And when I speak about the federal government here, let me say this. Anyone reading the paper lately saw what Rosemont's done, Cicero's done, Schaumburg's done, towns all around here. This issue is not something villages should be solving. This is not our responsibility. This is not something we even can fathom how to put together to resolve. But because the federal government cannot do their job, it's being pushed further and further down. Now you got local towns like Elk Grove Village, Cicero, Rosemont, 3,500 people. We're solving federal problems in our local communities. It's not right. It's not right for the communities. It's not right for the migrants. It's not right. And now we're stepping up having to do this. And we are, unfortunately. But because of our experience back in the last fall when they came, what we said happened started to occur. We started having some arrests of our migrants out of our hotel for selling drugs. By other communities were arresting them. We had migrants that were so bad that the people taking care of them there were just throwing them out of the hotel in the corner. Our police had to go, give them money to get on a bus or train, go down to another shelter. That's not right. Because of that going on, and people seeing in the paper, like Mayor Johnson of Chicago buying empty factories or warehouses to try to house them there and stuff, we started getting a little nervous about what may be coming to our direction. So Mr. Knickerbocker, who did a phenomenal job, for the past several months has been working on putting together some kind of plan to make sure we protect the health, safety, and welfare of this community. And one of the last straws that broke the camel's back to make us really get this going fast and done was when you had Venezuelans who traveled thousands of miles to get here, on foot most of them, begging Chicago to send them back to Venezuela. You want to talk about a slap in the face to the city of Chicago? They left one of the most oppressive countries in the world that people you can see want to get out of. They want to go back to that country. That's how bad Chicago was. If that doesn't send up a message to everybody, nothing will. So with that said, Mr. Knickerbocker, along with some constitutional law experts, put together an ordinance to make sure we can protect our community. And what they did is kind of a two-step approach. One, any vacant building, factory, warehouse, storefront, anything in the village cannot be turned temporarily into a housing shelter. It's got to meet the codes for bathrooms, sleeping accommodation, all that. Pretty much almost impossible to do. Almost like creating a hotel in there. No one's going to invest that kind of money, do all that. One, again, to help protect the health, safety, welfare of this community. And two, the migrants. Look what they try to do to them down in Chicago. You and I could not go live on that lot of land because of the pollution, contamination of that ground. But they're willing to put the migrants on there to live. Thank God courts or someone stepped up and said you can't do that. So, I mean, it's to protect everyone involved here and stuff. We don't want to go through things like that. So we've got that on the buildings that we can now enforce. The second thing is on our hotels and motels. If anyone comes from out of this country, in the last 60 days, they have to receive from an infectious disease medical specialist a certificate that they have no contagious diseases. One of the reasons we brought this up was in the news about 2 months ago, they talked how some of these migrants had tuberculosis. That's not a good thing. We want to make sure for the health, safety, welfare of this community, those kind of situations didn't come to Elk Grove. So that put in place for that section there. With these items addressed and stuff, the village can rest assured we're in solid position when it comes to dealing with that situation in the future. I know people asked us about, like Rosemont and Schaumburg passed an extra fee for long-term stays. That is something we're looking at. And not so much for this issue, for other issues we have going on. Right now, we have an extended stay here in Elk Grove that actually has bus stops in its parking lot. I'll say that again. It has bus stops in its parking lot. That means in one room, hotel rooms, you have families living there with kids going to our schools. I'm not sure about you, but I was worried about single men staying in a hotel room too long, getting squirrely. Can you imagine housing a family in a one-room hotel room, growing up there, living there as a housing, and going to school? It's not right. Not right for everyone involved. So we will be looking at that as a potential way to do it. But again, I don't mean to go on too long, I apologize, but my parents, both sides, came through Ellis Island. The story is my family, my name's not Johnson, it was Johansson. When they came through Ellis Island, name, Johansson, Johnson, you're through. There's a system that worked for 200 years in this country. Our families, most people here have gone through that. They've got to fix this. We should not be wasting our time, our money, and effort to fix something like that, and we won't. We're going to protect the health and safety welfare of the people we are elected to protect and serve. We're doing that. We've done it. And Mr. Lichtbach, I again want to thank you very much for the work you did. I know I was on your back a lot, and every time something new popped up, I'm on you. Got to get going. Let's go. Get it done. Get it done. We've done it, and I want to thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
The last item tonight is I'm going to read a statement tonight, and I know everyone knows I like speaking, talking. Trustee Frank Terry, I like talking a lot. They don't call me a little windy for nothing. But anyways, this issue is a serious issue, and just for the press that's here tonight, this issue, I'm going to read a statement. We will not say anything more at this time besides a statement. In advance, I'll let both Tom and Chris know I will not be answering questions, nor will the board, any further than on the statement I'm about to read tonight. We will be giving you copies of this after the board meeting. I'm providing a brief update on the use of force incident involving the Elk Grove Village police officers that occurred on December 1st, 2023. First, on behalf of Elk Grove Village, I want to once again extend our sincere condolences to the Murray family as they grieve the loss. Over the years, the village has placed a priority on ensuring that Elk Grove Village police officers have the resources and training they need to respond to a variety of situations presented to them on a daily basis. The Elk Grove Village police officers who responded to the incident on Friday, December 1st, had a combination of crisis intervention team training, mental health training, and de-escalation training, all of which were utilized during the response to this incident. While there are ongoing investigations into this incident, we can share some details to address some of the questions we have received from the community. In response to the 911 call, Elk Grove Village police officers were dispatched to a particular residence on Fern Drive for a man with a knife. Responding officers attempted to keep Mr. Jack Murray in the house by providing instructions via the 911 caller taker, who relayed those instructions to the individual inside the residence. Mr. Jack Murray exited the residence. Our officer was staged several houses away. Mr. Jack Murray advanced toward our officers while holding a knife approximately 11.5 inches in length. As he continued to advance toward the officers, Mr. Jack Murray ignored numerous commands to put the knife down and numerous commands to put his hands up. As Mr. Jack Murray came close proximity to our police officers, they deployed a taser on Mr. Jack Murray as a less lethal option. After the taser was deployed, he continued to advance toward the officers and was still holding the knife at the time lethal force was applied. Officers started first aid and emergency life-saving measures until the paramedics took over. This is all the information we can share with you at this time. The village understands and respects the desire for information and transparency from the community to better understand the events that took place. We will share the audio from the 911 dispatch, as well as the audio and video footage from the officers' body-worn cameras and the police vehicle cameras as soon as we can. On behalf of the village board and myself, I want to once again extend our condolences to the Murray family. I also want to extend our thoughts and supports to the members of our Elk Grove Village Police Department involved in this tragic incident, as well as to all our employees who respond to calls for service and endeavor to protect our community on a daily basis. Thank you. With that complete, we have a presentation and also some swearing in. So, excuse me. I'd like to ask Donna and Bob to come down and join me. Thank you. Bob, thank you. I appreciate it. Anyone that came to the board meeting tonight saw that beautiful tree outside? Okay, saw that beautiful tree outside. Over the years, we've been fortunate to have residents in the village donate trees that we can enjoy for a tree lighting ceremony and all the holiday season. And we always like to recognize the fan that donates a tree. We invite them up on stage. We recognize all this. I take full responsibility, and I apologize tonight to Bob and Donna. There was a mix-up on the night of the tree lighting. We're not able to thank them. They were there. They came. Again, mix-up. I apologize for that. So I wanted to first invite them tonight to come to the board meeting. We've got a couple of thank you gifts for both of you for the tree and all that. And again, it's gorgeous. It's one of the biggest we had. It's full all the way around. I remember going out in July, looking at there. They live on Mississippi, and looking at the tree, and we knew right away that's the one we wanted. And we can't thank you enough. It's added a lot to the holidays. People out there taking pictures and the sleigh and all that. So we want a chance to let you be in front of the people watching. Just so you know, about 3 billion people watch our board meetings every Tuesday night. So they're watching now. So just so you know, they're out looking at you. But we just wanted to invite you tonight and thank you like we wanted to do the night of tree lighting. And again, can't thank you enough. So I was wondering, Bob or Donnie, what do you want to say? A couple words? Well, talk about the tree a little bit. Go ahead.
So we moved to this great community 27 years ago, and we have 4 kids in 4.5 years, and the girls wanted to put a tree there to decorate. So we got a little tree, 3.5 feet. It's called a Fat Albert tree. It's supposed to be 8 feet wide and 15 feet tall. Well, something didn't quite go right, and here we go with this tree. It has served its purpose. It's seen a lot over the years. It observed a house fire we had many years ago, and it's been there for our family and for the community, and it just sits perfectly in the winter wonderland
looks
that you
great.
have over there. And I'll tell you one other thing too. My youngest daughter is a policewoman in Tulsa, and it means a lot to hear what you've had to deal with over here, and to the police that protect this community and all communities. So I thank you again, and thank you for everything.
I
It's our
appreciate it.
honor to have this tree for you.
Thank you. Let your daughter know that we do give a bonus for transfer police officers. So if she wants to come back to Elk Grove, we got some openings still. We're more than welcome her back. So,
Get the winters to go away, she could.
well, so far not going. We haven't had too bad a one. So, but we'll see. But again, thank you. And again, I do apologize for the mix-up that occurred. And we thank you for your being such good nature and supporting the community. It means a lot.
It means our honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it
Good day.
again. Thank you very much. Next. As Pastor kind of stole some of my thunder tonight with the next things we got going on. But why don't we first, Butch, you want to come join me down here? Come on down, Butch. I see Mrs. Goth is sitting out there. My whole life, she saw me grow up as a little one on Briarwood all the way through. So we'll be getting to Russ soon in a minute. But Butch, come on down here, buddy. Oh, that's good. I already broke this. We'll fix it. Don't worry. I have said for years, all the years I've worked here, been mayor, we've got a lot of boards and commissions that serve this community. We have the Plan Commission, the Zoning Board, Youth Committee, all kinds that work this community. There's no one that works any harder, any longer, yet in almost complete obscurity than what Butch and Steve, who's here, and Russ is going to be here. I'm not going to try to scare Russ off. No one puts in the time and effort that they do. And what is that? They're responsible for hiring every policeman and fireman we have here in this community. And especially now, with changeover and all the things going on, it's even more demanding on them. But we've got the best people. I've said this forever. We've got the best people working Elk Grove, whether it's Public Works, the fire, the police. We got phenomenal people working in the community, the manager's office, department. And these folks hired them all. I mean, you're talking a lot of policemen, a lot of firemen over the years. And it's not just one meeting. You have testing, then you have more testing, then you have interviews, you have follow-up interviews, final interviews. I mean, and you're talking hours and hours and hours of time. And we've been very blessed to have some great people serve over the years. Original owners, old Gail Bantner, Doc Shapiro, and Goldsmith. Bob Goldsmith, and now Butch, and we have Mike Conkey, and then and now Steve Schulten, and you know, we're very fortunate. And it's amazing how long each one stays. It's not like they're on a commission for 5-6 years. I mean, 20 years now for Butch. Doc was on for 40 years or something like that. I mean, yeah, and so we're very fortunate. But again, Butch is going to be stepping down. Butch has been the chairman for a number of years here, 8-9 years now, I think. 10, yeah. So moving on, and we thank him for that. Butch used to work for Des Plaines.
Yes, I did.
Yep, for a long time. So we're here tonight to first thank Butch for his time and effort and all that with a proclamation. And if I can, I'd like to read it tonight. A proclamation honoring Elroy Butch Erkey, Butch Erkey, on his retirement as chairman of the Fire and Police Commission. Whereas Butch Erkey was appointed to the Fire and Police Commission on August 12, 2003. I didn't have gray hair back then. And whereas Butch became chairman of the Fire and Police Commission on June 16, 2015. And whereas the Police and Fire Commission handles all promotions, discipline, and hiring of firefighters and police officer, and Butch's longevity of 20-year volunteer is certainly one of his strengths. And whereas over the course of Butch's 20 years of volunteering in Elk Grove Village, he's helped hire 183 firefighters and police officers, along with 69 promotions during his tenure. Whereas Butch is a good judge of character and people and does well in selecting good candidates for fire and police positions for the village. And whereas Butch is open-minded and despite his tough exterior, he is willing to listen, reason, and be flexible. Firm but flexible. Whereas Butch is always persistent to make sure that things will get done. Whereas Butch is truly a good heart and very generous in support of charity organization. Now therefore I, Mayor Craig B. Johnson, the Board of Trustees in the Village of Elk Grove Village and the Counties of Cook and DuPage, who hereby proclaim December 12, 2023 is Butch Erkey Day in the Village of Elk Grove. The village thanks Butch for 20 years of dedicated volunteer work to enhance the police and fire departments. Now, Butch, that means you got about 4 hours and 15 minutes to do whatever the hell you want to. They can't do anything to you. And
they'll make up for it
enjoy.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But again, not just hiring, I forgot about the promotions, the discipline, a lot. So, Butch, on behalf of the village, we say thank you. I got to fix this. We'll get it fixed for you. We say thank you, my friend.
Jeff, I won't take this long.
Can't do any worse.
Well, this is a record. I had somebody pray for me tonight. That's a big one. And then I get recognized by the village that I love. So, been a slice. That's all I can tell you. Thank you very much.
Hang on, Butch, hang on.
Exactly.
There you go, my friend.
Look at it, it fits right in there. Thank you. See you later. Take it easy.
Thank you. Okay, as with someone's retiring, stepping down, we need a replacement. So I'd like to ask Steve Schulten. Steve, if you want to come join me? Some may remember Mr. Schulten. Steve's been part of this community. Actually, his first house was in the park behind my house on Woodcrest, right? Woodcrest. I grew up on Briarwood, where Mrs. Golthus still lives. Steve has been a long-time part of this community. worked for the Elk Grove Partridge for a number of years. Then he was director of Partridge for Bloomingdale, then finished up at Arlington Heights. Definitely our loss. And but he did give back to the community. He's been on Police Fire Commission now for a while, and he would make an ideal chairman to refill Butch's shoes. That's only, I think, the fourth chairman now, because we had Gail, Doc, Butch, and now Steve. So in our almost getting close to 70-year village, this will only be our fourth police and fire chairman. So Steve, it's quite an honor. I appreciate taking time. I'd like to swear in if I could. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Steve Schulten,
Have been appointed to the position of
have been appointed to the position of
Chairman of the Police and Fire Commission.
Chairman of the Police and Fire
Do
Commission.
solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I'll faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
Chairman of the Police and Fire Commission.
Chairman of Police and Fire Commission.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you. 67 years ago tomorrow, my family moved into Elk Grove. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me and ever happened to my family. I'm very honored to be on the Police and Fire Commission. I've been on for a little over 7 years. I don't know how I'm going to follow Butch. He's been a great friend and an advocate for the village, and we have an outstanding police department and an outstanding fire department because of his work and the work that have gone before me. So it's an honor, and I will carry on as best I can. Thank you.
There you go, buddy. Thanks. Take care. Okay, now with all this switched around, we now have to fill a replacement spot. So I'd like to ask Russ Gotha to come on down. To say I've known Russ all my life would be a true statement. His mom's still on Briarwood Lane. Briarwood Lane is one of the very first streets in Elk Grove Village. They go way back. And actually, you're on Wildwood now, right? Yes. On Wildwood, one of the first areas. He goes way back. Russ, I think, was across the street and about 3 doors down the other side, where Mrs. Gotha still lives. And it's nice that he's willing to step up and give back to the community. Russ was a fireman, Des Plaines? Rolling Meadows for 30 years?
30 years full-time, 33 years as a paid on call. Yeah.
So 30 years full-time firefighter, 3 years paid on time, or paid on call. And so he brings some expertise to the position, which we haven't had before. Steve knows personnel, been in administration positions with the Partridge and all that. Butch worked over at Des Plaines. Banner was a pharmacist. Doc was a dentist. Goldsmith used to work in a pharmacy. I know because that's how my dad met him down in Chicago. He was right by the apartment they were in. So it's nice to now get perspective of someone on the commission that understands firsthand police and fire work. And he's been out of it long enough, and in a different town, there's no tie. So it's really a perfect marriage for this village. And that's why when I called him and talked about it, and I was very grateful he's willing to give the time. Because I said before, as they'll tell you, it's a lot of time. Don't run away now, you're in. So, and we're glad he's willing to do it and his family sacrifice. Who do you have here today, Russ, with you?
I've got my wife, Judy.
Raise your hand.
Next to her is my granddaughter, Haley,
Haley,
my grandson, Colton,
Colton,
and then my mom, Lois.
and Mrs. Gotha. So,
Is my stepson, Don, and my very lovely, his girlfriend, Kayla.
Kayla, hello. Don't forget, I'll give him plenty of chocolates for all of you, so don't worry, you'll be fine. So we're grateful, Russ, that you're willing to do that. See, I got to be careful. When he was a kid, we used to call him Rusty because his dad's name is Russ. So instead of Junior or something, call him Rusty. So I got to be careful. That's why I think a little bit before I say Russ. So if you could, raise your right hand. And you don't hear that name very often anymore, do you?
No.
No, us old timers. Repeat after me, would please. I state your name.
I, Russ Gotha Jr.,
Have been appointed to the position of
have been appointed to the position of
Police and Fire Commission
Police and Fire Commission
in the Village of Elk Grove Village
in the village of Elk Grove Village
and the counties of Cook and DuPage.
in the counties of Cook and DuPage.
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I'll faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
Police and Fire Commission.
Police and Fire Commission.
Congratulations, Ross. Way to go, buddy.
Thanks. As Craig said, I've got a little bit of, I don't know if it's expertise, but a little knowledge as far as what it takes to be a public servant. And I've had friends along the way that have been policemen, so it's not just the fire side, but I do know the police side. There's two things that you need. You need to have a head for it, and more important, you need to have a heart for it. So hopefully I'll be able to impart those things with the people that are applying for the positions here, to be able to keep the expertise and the excellent record that the police and fire have in this town, and then hopefully we'll be able to keep that. And Butch, we'll miss you.
Come on up. You have your grandkids. Come on up. Have the grandkids. Come on up. Come on up. I'm going to give you the chocolates, not your grandpa. Come on. Come on up. Give that to you. Hang on.
Oh, boy.
Okay, ladies first. You're welcome.
Hold it.
Okay, buddy, I didn't get you. Don't worry. Well, you look like a gopher. Oh, my gosh. There you go. Okay, enjoy.
Craig?
Take care. Okay, you folks are here for presentations. If you want to go, you're more than welcome to go now. We thank you for coming tonight. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday. Thanks again.
We bowled together forever. Close. Because of Russ Senior. Yeah, I only knew her did not miss this.
You know,
Hey, because of,
she's Mrs. Gopher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bye, Mrs. Gopher. You know, Mrs. Gopher, hang on.
give her some chocolates. Yeah.
Mrs. Gopher, I'm sorry, these grandkids got all the chocolate. Make sure you grab one. Make sure you get a chocolate for the grandkids. I'm all out. Oh, wait, we got one. I'm sorry, God, I can't do that.
What a terrible mayor.
Oh, there you go.
She's good.
She got some more chocolate.
Okay. Okay, with that said, we move on to trustees' report. Trustee Joe Bush.
So over the past several weeks, students from the Elk Grove High School Leadership Through Service class have been out raking leaves, doing community lawn care work for senior citizens and those with disabilities. We finished up our last house last Sunday, right before the final leaf collection. So Colby, thank you for extending that another week. I've never seen so many leaves in my life, and it took about 15 of us to do it. But it's a good opportunity for our students to work with the elderly, working with those who have disabilities, and good time for everybody. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Miller.
No report.
Trustee Frankie.
No report.
Just a little report.
Trustee Prochnow.
Just a little one. Just a reminder that the Winters Farmers Market is open, and it will be open this Saturday at the Christus Victor Church from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Winter Market runs every other Saturday, so we're getting into a pattern. Stop by and see some of the wonderful things that they have for sale. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Schmidt.
Just two short items. You mentioned the student exchange program. That was the first part of it. The second part of the program will start after the first year, where we will be meeting again with our students that hosted students at Elk Grove High School. They're going to be going over to our sister city in Sicily during the spring break, so we're working on that. And today I attended the Stevenson Dare graduation. Approximately 60 students graduated. It was a typical Dare graduation. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of fun, and everybody had a good time.
Good.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Chair.
A week ago, I attended grand opening of Shumi USA. It's a Taiwanese company that chose to make their inaugural manufacturing debut here in Elk Grove Village. It was between us and Texas. And I got a wonderful goodie bag full of dental products. They make dental products, and their CEO from Taiwan came, and it was just really cool to see an Asian manufacturing company coming to Elk Grove, and they hope to grow and expand and do more production here. That concludes my report.
Thank you. We've run out to accounts payable warrant. We have two of them. First one, November 30th, 2023.
I move that we approve the accounts payable warrant for November 30th, 2023 in the amount of $8,310,934.40.
Second.
We have motion by trustee Prochnow, motion by trustee Proctor, second by trustee Miller. Jen, can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Frankie?
Aye.
Trustee Jerish?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Prochnow?
Aye.
Trustee Schmidt?
Aye.
Trustee Bush?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. We have December 12th, 2023.
I move that we approve the accounts payable warrant for December 12th, 2023 in the amount of $708,190.21.
Second.
We have motion by trustee Prochnow, second by trustee Miller. Without objection, record the votes. Please demonstrate 6-0. We have consent agenda tonight. Items A is an almighty, because the holiday season coming up, the almighty. Through S, a gentleman that's not going to be seeing you, Mr. Knickerbocker, but he'll definitely be seeing me. Santa? Santa. So I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Frankie, second by trustee Jerish. Any questions, comments from any staff or elected officials tonight on consent agenda? See none? Anybody in the audience on the consent agenda items? Seeing none, hearing none, and without objection, record the vote as previously demonstrated, 6-0. We now move on to, bear with me, regular agenda. There's no items. Plan Commission, Mr. Roan, is there something or not? We can go now?
I got a couple
Oh,
items.
come on, okay.
All right. So item A, PC docket 23-9, that was actually item L on the consent agenda that you approved. Item B is PC docket 2310. On November 13th, the Plan Commission met to hear PC docket 23-10 to consider the petition for rezoning and special use permit for a plan unit development and re-subdivision for property located at the southeast corner of Arlington Heights Road and Higgins Road. It was the consensus of the Plan Commission by an 8-0 vote to approve the rezoning of the property from B3 to an underlying zoning of B1 for the commercial property and A2 for the residential property. Approve the special use for a plan unit development and approval of the Elk Grove Woods Plaza development regulations, and approve the plat of subdivision from 3 lots to 2. And the petitioner is in the audience.
To the petitioner, we decided we don't want to do it. Let's, we try to see what happens. We're good. Wingspan has been phenomenal to work with, to say the least. They, I know, worked very hard. I mentioned earlier we have all the contracts signed up, leases set to go, and there was a lot of work and effort by you folks. We thank you for that effort. We're excited about it, and I know Nick said he's going to be working hard and quick, so you got a time frame now to get it done by. We're going to hold it. Any questions or comments for any board member tonight for the petitioner?
Sure. Would you make sure that Kathy abstains?
Yeah, and with the vote coming up, trustee Jerish will be abstaining. I mean, pretty obvious why. So that'll be fine. So I need a motion to have the attorney prepare necessary documents.
So moved.
We have a motion by trustee
Bush,
Bush.
not Fichter.
I didn't say it. I was waiting for Jen. But trustee Bush, second by trustee Miller. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show two things, unanimous approval and abstention from trustee Jerish. So again, what's going to happen, guys, you probably know this, it's going to be on the agenda in January. You do not need to return. It passed unanimously by the Plan Commission, passed unanimously by this village board. It's a mere formality. I do want to thank you. I'm seriously. This is a big undertaking for the village, I know for you folks, and we're excited. We appreciate your hard work, your effort, and we're looking forward to everything coming to fruition, and we thank you for working with Elk Grove. You know, you guys can work a lot of places. You chose our village. We appreciate it. So despite Nick, we still thank you. So thanks again. Okay, anything else, Mr.?
Yes, I do have one other item. On December 4th, the Plan Commission met to hear PC docket 2311 to consider the petition for a special use permit for a portion of a building to be used as a martial arts studio at the property located at 1651 Lively Boulevard. It was the consensus of the Plan Commission by an 8-0 vote to grant the special use with conditions as outlined in the finding of fact.
Okay, petitioner here tonight. Okay. First, I need a motion to have attorney prepare necessary documents.
So moved.
We have a motion by trustee Frankie.
Second.
Ooh.
She got it. She was abstaining the last one, so let her know.
Yeah,
Okay, second by trustee Jerish.
give her one.
Any questions, comments from board members to the petitioner? None? Seeing none? I'll still have, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Let the record show unanimous approval. Again, same thing with you. You do not need to return next board meeting. It'll be on consent agenda, mere formality. So we thank you for working with the village. You're set to go. And I wish I had more chocolates. He's got a little one sitting all this time. Hang on. Before you go, she'll make sure your young one gets some chocolate.
She's asleep.
Okay? Okay. Oh, by all means, go ahead. Now, remember, we passed it, so
I'm not aware what the conditions are that the 8-0 planning development put on it. The one thing that I did want to state is that I wanted to make sure there was not a me hit by the bus condition put on the property. In other words, they had asked that the condition for the special use would only last as long as I own the building. I asked that I make sure that my successors also have that right, because if I am hit by a bus before the two gentlemen that will be running this martial arts studio finish their duties, which are to train people for the 2028 Olympics and beyond, that they continue their mandate as long as my family still owns the property. My family owns 3 buildings in this village. My grandfather, as some of you may know, was, actually I just saw a trophy that was given to him as the leader of the Centex Industrial Park in 1964 in honor of 5 years of service. So we've been here a while. We're soon to purchase another building, maybe even 2 buildings in the village.
Hang on
Just
a
want to
second.
make sure that we have that
Is
continuity.
that in there?
Yeah, it's for the business name.
So we're good.
So the special use applies to the business name as it will remain.
Wonderful. So in case my daughter wants to continue it and I'm hit by a bus, unfortunately.
She's
just wanna
good.
make sure we
Don't
do
get
this.
hit by a bus, but in case you do, yeah.
Well, you know, there are a lot of business people that talk about getting hit by a bus or being having the right people on a bus. So I just wanna
You have
make sure.
nothing to worry about. We got you
Wonderful.
covered.
All right.
And thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And when you're going, Jen right back there has got your daughter some special treats.
Wonderful. It'll make her worth her time.
Okay, you're all good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
God
you.
bless. Thank you.
Good luck.
Anything else, Mr. Roan?
That is it.
Okay, we move on now. There's nothing on the zoning board of appeals. Move on now to recycling and waste committee. Trustee Jeffrey Charles Frankie.
Yes, December 15th is the last day to deposit leaves in the dumpsters at the 2 public works facilities, so try to get them there before you get hit by a bus. And a lot of buses. So 15th 's last day the dumpsters are leaving. We're also being told by other trustees that people are still putting leaves in the street. We're not coming to get them, so they'll be plowed back into your parkway once the snow comes. So if you have to store them somewhere, or get them into the dumpster at the park or at the public works facilities, or store them until next year. Waste Management is not picking up any more recycling this year. So that, and also, if you're like me and you always have all these lights that don't work after you put them up, we are taking the old Christmas lights here at the Village Hall. We'll be taking them for the next couple months. So if you've got strings that aren't working, don't throw them in the garbage. They can be recycled. Bring them in the Village Hall. We have a big container that you can put them in. So that'll be happening for the next couple months, especially after you take your broken lights off your house. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Judiciary Planning and Zoning Committee, Trustee Prochnow.
No report.
Capital Improvements Committee, Trustee Schmidt.
No report.
Cable Television Committee, Trustee Jerish.
No report.
See how good I'm doing at that? I don't even think Jerash anymore. It's always Cherish now. It just comes natural.
I'm
Youth
proud of
Committee,
you.
Trustee Bush.
No report.
Wow, that's good. Information Committee, Trustee Miller.
So I do have
There's
a little
always one. See,
report.
Joe?
Sorry,
There's always
I
one.
had no report earlier.
Go ahead.
There is still a special mailbox for the North Pole for parents and children who want to write a letter. You have until Sunday, December 17th, to write the letter to the North Pole, but make sure you put a return address on your letter. So,
And they all get a response.
they do, even if you have been naughty or nice. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at anybody in particular.
It's like you were looking at him.
He's an attorney.
Does he get a
It's a
response?
given. I mean, what do you
Does he get a
mean?
response?
Huh?
Does he get a response or just Cole?
Well, it depends. May not be Santa that responds back to him, but we won't.
And then the last thing I just want to say is the Village newsletter will be coming out shortly, hopefully next week, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you very much. That ends my report.
Thank you. Business Leaders Forum, Trustee Schmidt.
No report.
Health and Community Services, Trustee Prochnow.
No report.
Personnel Committee, Trustee Schmidt.
No report.
Airport update, we already went through. Parade, our next meeting is not till February, but I do get to announce tonight, because the way the competition falls for bands, Elk Grove High School Band has already committed to be in our parade this year. So we're excited about that. We should get other bands now that we're not the same weekend. So we'll see what happens. We've reached out to Conant High School, waiting to hear back from them. So anyone that knows people at Conant, put a little pressure on them to commit. So we have both Elk Grove High School and Conant. It'd be great. Mr. Knickerbocker, on our agenda tonight, we passed a rather substantial contract for a midsummer concert classic series. And this is the first time you're going to need to name all 5 bands. So let's start off with band number 3, which is playing at Rotary Fest.
Neon Trees.
Holy cows. Impressive. Name their number 1.
What's the excitement out there?
Name
Name.
their number 1 hit.
Neon Trees.
Hang on. Name their number 1 hit. I figured. Okay.
It has the word that he loves to do best.
Yes, or not do best, does.
Okay. Band number 5, our last concert for the year, which will be at the Town Center, July 30th.
I recognize him. Brett Michaels?
Very good. Band number 2, which will be at the first one here at the Town Center on July 9th.
I've actually seen her in concert. Martina McBride?
Very good. Band number 4, which will be the 23rd at the Town Center.
Actually, I've seen them too, but that was about 60 years ago.
And that is?
The Four Tops.
Very good. I say the easiest one and probably the biggest show. We think this may set records. On July 4th, it will be at Rotary Fest Green, part of our 4th of July fireworks spectacular afterwards. They are one of the 3 most iconic bands of all time, and that would be?
Is it Beach Boy or is it Beach Boys?
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys.
Yeah. I know Mike Love is the main guy there still, but I'm not sure. Well, we won't go there. So you got a very, Mr. Knickerbocker, I am impressed.
As
You
well
lost
should.
money on the number 1 hit for Neon Trees, but
What is the number 1 hit?
I have no clue.
Everybody's talking.
Everybody talks.
Everybody talks?
Yeah, everyone is talking. I know they shouldn't be, but they do.
Well, it's like your report. Everyone.
Yeah. no offense, if they walked in and out, I wouldn't know who they were. So, but the younger people want them. We're now trying to spread our. So we got now young band. We have iconic band. We have a
Old band.
woman band. Women band. We've got a what four tops? So they say they're not
Classic.
classic, yeah, classic band.
rock.
And we
Jazz.
finish up with true rock and roll
Funk.
with Brett Michaels. So we've
Motown.
covered the whole spectrum in this year's lineup, which is our biggest lineup ever, no question. So that went well and very good. I'm impressed, Georgie. Way to go. Good job.
You are the lawyer.
Okay, Special Events Committee. We already talked about the tree lighting. Next one is, believe it or not, Trustee Prochnow.
Memorial Day?
Memorial Day.
Wow.
That's next one, right around the corner. So that, no report Liquor Commission. What we've all been waiting for, right, Mr. Knickerbocker? Report from our beloved village manager.
No report.
Now, wasn't that concise and good?
It was.
I
Right to
thought,
the point.
wait, no mix-up, words clear,
Concise
succinct.
being the-
Yes.
That's the
Good
right
job.
word, yeah.
That's why he's the boss.
Yes,
That's why.
indeed.
Good job. And now you gotta listen to village clerk.
No report.
Yeah. Any unfinished business, Mr. Knickerbocker? I see none as usual. Nothing down there?
Good.
Okay. New business items from trustees. Nothing?
Just wishing everybody a happy holiday, a safe, happy holiday.
A Merry Christmas, too.
Merry Christmas. I think everybody, we all agree on that, don't we?
Yep. Jane Greger here. Do you want me to just mention it, or you want to come down? Okay.
Jane, did you bring parking permit? Okay, thanks.
Jane
works on one
Greger
person.
is one put together Wreaths Across America. How many years? This is our third year? Fifth year. It's on this Saturday, December 16th, 10 a.m. sharp at the Elk Grove Cemetery, right there on Arlington Road by the tollway. And we ask you please park in Chase Bank parking lot. We have a shuttle bus that will run between. Someone very nicely donated for that, so that worked out good. And it's a way to honor those that have paid the sacrifice on our behalfs and first responders. So both military and first responders we recognize that day. So again, 10 o'clock, it's called Wreaths Across America. I see on TV, what news channel has commercial all the time? Fox News has commercial all the time about the Wreaths Across America. So it's out there. So she's worked very hard putting this together as Daughters of the American Revolution. And so if you can't be there this Saturday, December 16th, 10 a.m. sharp. Right, Mr. Knickerbocker?
Yep.
We have two Revolutionary War veterans. Now, you served with one of them, I know. I wasn't sure about the second one. But one you did minor, I think. Yep. So, good guy? Okay.
You owed him some money.
Okay, so we got that. Does anybody else wish to address the board tonight before we adjourn? If not, we thank everyone for being here. Again, sorry for the length of the marriage report. I cannot believe what has happened in the last 30 days. We're now moving forward. I want to wish everyone a very happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you all in 2024, right?
We'll be here.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have motion?
Second.
We have motion by trustee Miller. You won this time. Second by trustee Frankie. Jen, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Prochnow?
Yeah,
Hello?
yes.
No, do you know what you're voting for? It's
Yes.
it's to give the mayor a $5 million a year salary. You said yes?
Sorry, mind blank.
You want another
Go ahead.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Bush?
Aye.
Trustee Frankie?
Yes.
Trustee Jerish?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed 6-0. Folks, enjoy the holidays. God bless everyone. Meeting adjourned.